but studying the elite, how they behave, how they even look upset, it's like they know they're under orders. I keep coming back with it is a outside intelligence, call it spiritual, whatever you want, interdimensional, that is controlling these people. What they're doing is so horrible. And I mean, what politician would come out and say we rape children and rip their genitals off with pliers and put it in White House documents? They're doing something to us. They're getting us ready for greater horrors. It's some type of, God knows what it is, folks. But I can just tell you, just in my spirit, I intellectually track all this, and then in my spirit I try to go, okay, what is it behind that final door? And it is hell itself being released on the earth.
I'm telling you, and I've been looking at this, like I said, for so many years, but it was back in '67 that I made a profound discovery, and I've been working on it for over 40 years, and I really feel that I want to do something with this work that nobody has ever heard, no one's ever seen it, has no idea it exists. It is extraordinarily important, but I'm just too tired and sick to do anything.
Well, listen, if we just get you fired up, and I know with me in films, I want to make them perfect. Perfect is just getting it done. Action is victory. Resistance is victory. Let's move quickly. I think you know Matt Kazie's come out and interviewed you a few times. I've interviewed him. He's a great guy. Let's go to Matt Kazie first, real fast. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Alex. How are you?
Good.
And good to talk to you again, Jordan. Hey, listen, guys, I tell you what, it was something. This whole interview was just fireworks for me. Absolutely riveting and amazing. I did want to let y'all know I'm doing a documentary with Jordan on his life's work, and that will be coming out soon. My quick question is, with all this talk about this coming new agenda, and it's part of the new man theory, and my question is this. Even in 1927 film Metropolis, the Machine Man,
that's right.
Is technology going to is it possible that technology...
Yeah, they're talking about us interfacing with it, and that's why they say, what's going to happen in 2001? Something wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's not wonderful. It's hellish.
Okay, let me ask, could it be that technology could backfire against them, or are we just going to be slaves to the machine?
Well, I think that has to do with
it's a choice.
Outside, what we're talking about, God. I think that what we're up against is something unworldly. It's not of our world. And Christians should understand and relate to that. Jews, especially Orthodox, should understand. We're talking about something that's out there. Ask any 6-year-old where God is, and they'll point straight up into the heavens. Well, God's out there. Well, whatever is out there is far superior to us. And the angels, sons of God, my God, that's a subject that I can...
Yeah, we know there's a lot. The problem is you can feel it in your gut. Every culture says it. There's two forces out there.
You got it.
That's then the dark force is definitely on this globe.
Yeah, well, what do you think of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Star Wars especially is talking about?
Underestimate the power of the dark side.
George Lucas. I had lunch with George Lucas. I know what these symbols mean. I know what Hollywood is doing, what they're telling you. And George Lucas is a brilliant guy, and he's trying to explain to the world some very
his new film
stuff.
Has the Emperor staging terror attacks to get a police state, and then you find out in the end he's behind bin Laden.
Well... I know, but it's just it's a story that is so awesome in scope.
Hey, Matt, when's this video going to be up?
We're still in production. We're going to take our time and do it right, Alex. So I'll definitely keep you posted. I'm going to drop so other callers can get in. Thanks again, Alex, for having.
Well, Matt, fire out your website.
It's truthmovement.com, and we're getting ready to launch 33rdparallel.tv again. But
okay.
That's interesting, Jordan. Tell us about the George Lucas lunch.
Well, I was invited by Disney to a special party out at Disneyland where I met Michael Eisner and Lucas and Danny DeVito and God knows all kinds of movie stars.
Because they're into this and they want to meet with somebody on the outside who knows what they know.
Well, yeah, and so I was invited, and I had a nice conversation. George Lucas actually said to me, we were all standing and eating. It was kind of like a big circus kind of atmosphere. And he said, I introduced myself. He asked me my name, and I told him, and he said, Jordan Maxwell. And he says, you know what? I know that name. He said, you're in a book, a red cover book. Isn't it something about the church doesn't want you to know? And I said, yes. And I said, it's an honor that you would know about me. He said, well, the only reason I know about you, Jordan, is because my wife is a voracious reader. She reads everything. I don't read. I hire people to do the research for the movies, etc. And he said, but she made me read your part. That's why I remember your name. So he said, give me your business card. And then Michael Eisner, president of Disney, said, well, what are you talking about? And then we got into a conversation about Hollywood, magic, the occult world, etc. So,
what did he say?
No, I'm not going to talk about that any further on the air, but we'll talk about that in private. But it was interesting because I asked them, I said, the very concept of the Hollywood comes from the old Druidic priest in the ancient...
Who made it out of the Hollywood.
Yeah, because they're magic wands of the magical priests. Used magic wands, and they were always made out of the wood of a holly tree, made out of Hollywood. And so we had a very, long-term, interesting conversation going there for a bit.
Oh, I bet. Let's go ahead and Hollywood knows all about all of it, folks.
You can bet it.
Better believe it. I've been out there. Probably not as much as Jordan as he lives out there. Let's talk to Ryan in California. You're on the air, Ryan.
The only second thing I had real quick was, as far as the rising sun, I've seen a lot of drawings, especially in Roman Catholic Church paintings and such, of mushrooms and such like that, and I heard you talk about that in your film basic slideshow. I'm wondering if you could give me any more information.
Well, that's what I want to do. Maybe Alex and I will do something together on this and really put something out there that's going to blow people away.
Yeah, because I've read Apples of Apollo, and I've studied your work, and it's fascinating, and just, keep up the good work.
There's a big story there yet. The big story to come.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you, Ryan.
So
Thank you. Sorry we're having a hurry here. Jennifer in California, you're on the air.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Sorry about my phone. I just wanted to thank you guys for everything that you've done for all of us out here. And I wanted to talk about the interesting Obama poster with his rising sun.
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
And that never gets pointed out.
Yeah, you noticed that, didn't you? Yeah.
I can't not notice it. It's the first thing that pops out at me.
That's right.
And, look, he's got the eugenicist Warren Buffett, who's given $47 billion of his money to carry out eugenics ops on black people. But hey, he's for a black guy, so everything's okay.
That's right. It's amazing to me. The race lines are still so prevalent, and it's just such nonsense.
But that symbol is very, very important. And it's telling you something, and all the presidents have used it, but especially, what's the other guy?
McCain.
For the Republican. What's his name?
McCain.
McCain came out and said, McCain blew me away. I almost had to fall backwards when I heard McCain in one of his lectures using Illuminati terms, which are in-house terms that nobody knows unless you're inside to know what those words meant. And he used those terms and words in his speech.
Well, what about when Bush Sr.'s talking about 1,000 points of light and a new dawn? I mean, that is total occultic.
Of course.
And people say we're such conspiracy theorists to believe the stuff that's coming right out of their mouths, Yeah. And when we show it to them, they just totally turn their face away from it.
Yeah, but there are none so blind as those who choose not to see.
Right. And I'd like to say to everybody who has children, it's our responsibility as parents to prepare our kids for this and to teach them that this is going on. And if we give them the education and if we show our own kids what's going on, then this information will be passed on.
Well, here's what happened. We know they've been poisoning the food. We know they've been poisoning the water. We know they've been poisoning the vaccines. Now that people are filtering water, trying to get away from it, now they're putting it in the air. I mean, they admit it. I mean, they are coming after us. They're saying the elite says in hundreds of documents, and I appreciate your call, Jennifer, that that we have to, they say there's going to be a middle class that will have elite genetics. This is their view. I'm not saying it's true. They will threaten us. They will get in the way of what we're doing. It's like bad sons. We got to cut them down.
Yep.
And, I don't want to be cut down. I don't want my kids dying early of cancer. You bastards need to stop.
I agree.
All right, let's take another call here. Let's talk to Graham in Seattle, and then Ben and others. Graham, go ahead.
Hi, it's an honor to speak with you. I've never heard Jordan speak. Thanks for having him on today. I was just going to mention real quick, David Icke. That's how you pronounce his name. A lot of the stuff he talks about is right on, but he starts talking about the whole reptilian thing, and then you were talking about crossbreeding humans with other types of species, and I was thinking maybe, I know some people who claim to have seen